Well, folks, the illegals first, Americans last caucus of the Republican Party is back at it again, swinging away for their favorite constituent, the illegal alien. 10 of them on the Republican side signed on with every single solitary Democrat congressman in the House of Representatives to pass the resolution forcing President Donald J. Trump to extend temporary protection status for Haitian illegal aliens living in this country. So we're going to take a look at that story. We're going to take a look at a couple of statements from these backstabbing, American-hating Republicans and shocking statements. In one statement in particular by Mike Lawler from New York, absolutely devastated. I had no idea that this was the case, and it infuriated me. And if you don't know about this, I'm sure it will infuriate you, but you need to know about it because this is what's happening as they are slowly and surely killing this country piece by piece. So stay tuned for that. But before we get into this whole mess, let me thank you guys for joining me again here at the Right Side View. Hope you like the video, and let's get into it. All right, so we're going to look at this article from The Hill, and we're going to look at the statements that I was referring to that are here in this article. And after we look at that, there's another little article I'm going to pull up concerning Boston, Massachusetts, and what's going on there with the mayor of Boston. And it's a great insight into seeing where this is all heading nationally. If we continue to allow this to go on, we let these people get away with this, little by little, you're going to start seeing what they're trying to do in Boston, you're going to see nationally. And it's sickening what they're doing in Boston. And we can't let it happen. We got to stand against it. So the headline of this article, 10 Republicans help Democrats pass resolution extending TPS for Haitian migrants. So it starts with the House on Thursday passed a resolution requiring the Trump administration to extend temporary legal protections for Haitian migrants after a small group of Republicans helped Democrats force it to the floor using a rarely successful maneuver. So this resolution forces the Trump administration to extend. So to keep in mind, this temporary protection status, it's a law that was put in place to offer protection from deportation for certain illegal aliens who have escaped natural disasters or civil war, famine, whatever, in their own countries. And the idea is they come here, they're illegal, they're protected from being deported back to that country until things stabilize. Then when things stabilize, that protection, that temporary protection runs out. There has an expiration date. When that expiration date comes, it's the executive branch's call as to whether or not that gets extended or is allowed to expire. And if things have stabilized in the country of origin, whether it be Venezuela or Haiti, then the administration makes the call to not extend that protection, and that reopens the possibility of these people to be deported because there's no longer the protection there. And that's what we're talking about here. There's 5, I think, Haitians that are suing the administration to have this extended. There is a radical judge who put a restraining order in and said that has to be extended as usual. That'll go up to the Supreme Court and will be slapped down because the power of whether these get extended or not or revoked, all is left in the hands of the executive branch given to it by Congress. So the courts have no place, they have no standing in telling the president that he has to extend temporary protection status. And same thing with this particular resolution. And so that's what we're dealing with here. So the lower chamber, the House, passed the resolution by a vote of 224 to 204, with the typical 10 backstabbing, American-hating Republicans crossing the aisle And they're listed off here. Reps Brian Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania, Mike Lawler of New York, Don Bacon of Nebraska, who's retiring, thank God. Maria Elvira Salazar, of course, she's in there. She's pushing another bill, the Dignity Act, and I made a video on that last week that I'm linking down in the description, so check that out. That's huge amnesty bill, anti-American bill. Carlos Gimenez, Nicole Meliatakis from New York, Rich McCormick from Georgia, Mike Turner from Ohio, Mike Carey from Ohio, and Mario Diaz-Balart from Florida. And then Rep. Kevin Kiley, who just became an independent, changed from Republican to independent, who caucuses with Republicans, also voted yes. So this passed because of Republicans, even though there was only 10. It was a rare rebuke of the Trump administration immigration policy, with the Department of Homeland Security since last year pushing to revoke deportation protections for some 350,000 Haitians who were granted temporary protected status. Rep. Ayanna Pressley, Democrat, Massachusetts. If you don't know who she is, Google a picture of her. She's a radical, big-time radical. She's a member of the squad, strange-looking lady. She led the discharge petition to force a vote on the resolution, which garnered the necessary 218 signatures at the end of March. Fitzpatrick, Bacon, Lawler, and Salazar had signed on to the petition, sidestepping Speaker Mike Johnson, Republican Louisiana. So the four usual suspects, they made this possible to even be voted on by the House. So Democrats love those four. Now we get to Mike Lawler's statements, comments, defending his vote on this resolution. And you got to see this. This is unbelievable, the stuff that he says. This guy is a United States congressman. And you read this and you tell me if this guy is America first. You tell me if this guy cares one whit about his American citizen constituents or anybody in this country who's an American citizen. He says, it's no secret there are differences of opinion on all aspects of immigration, of the immigration system, but this issue in particular, this TPS issue with these Haitians, is one that I do think there is bipartisan support behind. So there's 10 Republicans that voted for this. 203 or 4 voted against it, Republicans. Maybe even more. There was 213 Democrats voted for this. So 213 Democrats, 10 Republicans. Mike Lawler calls that bipartisan support. The guy's ridiculous. Now, this is the part that absolutely stunned me. And maybe I should know this. And maybe other people, everybody else does. I didn't know this. This infuriated me. And I'd be interested to see what you guys have to say about this. But he says so. He says there is bipartisan support behind, because the reality is 40% of the Haitian population lives in the United States of America. And then he emphasizes it, 40%. He's telling us that almost 50% of the population of a country 800 miles away lives in the United States of America. What are we doing that we are just letting almost entire countries just come on in? Half the country, come on in. Come on in and live. We'll take care of you. We'll protect you. You don't have to worry about being deported, have jobs. Here's free food. Here's free housing. Here's free medical. Just come on in. We got all the room, all the money, all the space in the world that you could possibly take advantage of. 40%. How does that happen? I can't believe that. I mean, it just has me stunned. And like I said, maybe I should know that, but I didn't. And I read that while I'm researching this video, my chin just dropped to the floor. So what in the world are we doing? And he goes on to say, and we have seen over the last 15 years, a country that has been besieged by natural disasters, by political unrest, by gang violence, kidnapping, gun trafficking, human trafficking, drug trafficking, Lawler said in a press conference on Wednesday. Well, that's not our responsibility. I didn't make that happen. Living here in the United States and working and paying taxes, I had nothing to do with what's going on in Haiti. Now, I am all, the United States is the most generous country in the world, in the history of the world. And financially, we have helped out more, probably 1,000 times more than any country ever has around the world. But it is not our responsibility to provide for the comfort and safety of every human being that lives on the planet that's living in tough situations or dangerous situations. We just can't do it. We don't have the resources to do it. So all of these things that have occurred, half the population practically is over here. They should be back over there fixing their country and getting it right. But instead, we just bring them over here and then say, oh, it's never going to get better over there, so they have to stay here forever. Temporary protection status is indefinite protection status. That's what he's saying here. And this is nothing more than a backdoor way to give amnesty to people. If this works, they'll do it everywhere else with every other illegal immigrant group population. They'll just say their country is too dangerous for them to have to go back to. Here we got to give them indefinite protection status. These people are not fooling anybody. They're not fooling me, that's for sure. And that's exactly what they want. They want these people here permanently. They want every illegal alien that lives in this country right now illegally. They want them here permanently. Maria Salazar, Mike Lawler, these backstabbing American last Republicans, that's what they want. And then he goes on to say, there is no question that TPS is meant to be temporary. Really? Mike, you really understand that? Because I don't think you do. But in order to effectuate the immigration laws of this country, we have to be honest when we are enacting it. I don't know what the hell that means. Sending people back to Haiti to unsafe conditions when they are currently here lawfully is unjust and unwise, Lawler added. Well, they're not really here lawfully. They're just being protected from deportation during this temporary period of time. Once that expires, they are back to illegal alien status and open to being deported, which they should be because that's what we voted for. So Carlos Gimenez gets in on the conversation, and he says Haiti is a mess. Again, not our problem, not our doing. Why are we responsible for footing the bill for this? And I don't think it's right to send, the good, law-abiding Haitians. They may be here, actually, they have temporary protected status. This is a congressman speaking like this. I can't even make sense of this. They're actually kind of legal, okay? When they've been able to work the last year, send them back to Haiti, so I don't think it's right, Gimenez said. So they've been working here, which is another job that an American citizen doesn't have because it went to a Haitian who's under temporary protective status. That's what's so great about these laws. Now it says, created in 1990, TPS protects foreign nationals who cannot safely return to their home countries because of armed conflict, natural disasters, or other temporary conditions. It prevents deportation and provides recipients with a pathway to work authorization. The Trump administration has begun the process of ending TPS for nearly every country previously designated because it was being abused to the max. Anything that happened negative in a country, that country was going on the list. So if you were here in this country from El Salvador or Venezuela or wherever, and they were put on the list, you could breathe easy because you were not going to be deported because you were under protective status. So absolutely ridiculous. This is the kind of stuff that we have to keep our eyes on, we have to keep vigilant about, and we have to stop. And we have to get these people, these RINOs, like Mike Lawler, like Maria Salazar in Florida, and Carlos Gimenez, all these people, that list that I read, the 10, they need to be primaried and removed from office because they're not for you. They're not for me. They're not for America. America's dead last in their minds. When they wake up in the morning, all they think about is what can I do for illegal aliens in this country today? And what can I take from the American taxpayer to give to them? And that leads me to the last, this last article that just came out and is causing quite a stir over in across the country, but this is happening in Boston, Massachusetts. The wonderful mayor of Boston, of course, a leftist Democrat, has decided to come up with a great idea. So let's take a look at that. So Boston mayor gives queer and trans migrants $500 each for massages and yoga. This is the stuff, given the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, that will spread throughout the whole country if we're not vigilant. This is what they want to do everywhere. And this, take it out of your pocket and give it to them for these ridiculous things. This article's in the Toronto Sun. The city's hyper-woke mayor, Michelle Wu, is boasting of a new program that offers queer and trans migrants $500 vouchers for massages, yoga classes, and creative healing, whatever the hell that is. And like Canada, the mayor is spending the dough despite the hub, I guess that's Boston, running a $50 million deficit. Called Welling Allowances, the cash is being pushed out by a Wu-connected nonprofit called Out Newcomers. And the program is backed by the Mayor's Office for Immigrant Advancement, code word for illegal immigrants. The group said on Wednesday, we're offering $250 to $500 wellness allowances for LGBTQ plus migrants in Boston to support their mental health and well-being through non-clinical care, including yoga, meditation, creative healing, peer support, hair salon, acupuncture, and massages appointments, and gym membership. Throw that in too. A promotion from the group reads, it adds, Project Belonging Matters, that's the name, is our way of saying you deserve rest, healing, and community. Many LGBTQ plus migrants carry trauma, isolation, and survival on their shoulders, often without access to care. A boo, hoo, 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 hoo. So, $50 million deficit in their budget. Somehow, magically, the mayor has been able to find money to pay $500 out to illegal alien queers and transgenders. And it's being hailed and applauded by the LGBTQ plus community. So this is what's in store for the United States of America. This is what's in store for your town and my town and everywhere else in this country. If we continue to sit back and allow these people to run roughshod over us and steal our money and give it to people who have no business being here and that need to go. So anyway, guys, that's my rant for the day, this video. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you taking the time. And I will see you guys in my next video.